As you can see, we have a partially mowed yard. And I did that with this John Deere 322. Now, this is obviously an older machine and it's hand throttle. Forward, reverse. Me personally, not a fan of that whatsoever. Not at all. I prefer the hydrostatic, and it's just so much easier. It's kind of less jumpy, you know, keeps your hands free. Long story short, my personal mower actually quit, and I think it's the battery and I'm guessing a start solenoid. So I haven't been able to use ours in a very long time. And this is a 190c, which they don't really even make this anymore, but I need to test the battery, and I'm probably just gonna try and get a start solenoid and see if that takes care of it, because I did buy a new key, a new ignition set for it before, and that didn't have any effect on it. It doesn't do anything when you turn the key. So I'm just kind of thinking it's a start solenoid. Tractor Supply has one in stock. If it's the same, if it'll fit, so I may take that off, take it with me, and see if that works. It's definitely showing weak without even doing anything. Test it. Oh yeah. It just drops. So I'm gonna assume that it's bad. And quite honestly, it probably doesn't hurt for this to be changed anyhow. The date code that I did see on the battery, at least I thought I seen a date code, it's pretty old. So it should be changed. Well, I'm gonna try and push it down to the shop, kind of where I have better access of tools. And then maybe at that point, I'll just pop the battery out and see if we can figure something out, because I'm really getting tired of using that hand throttle mower. New battery and a start solenoid. I don't know if this is the right one, but we're gonna find out. The solenoid is a little different, but I'm hoping that it works, and I'm hoping that this is the problem. I already checked one of the fuses, or the fuse, whatever you'd like to say. And now, I guess we can throw this on here. Now this did not start whatsoever before. With, like, since we've had this problem, I used to use a jumper wire directly from the battery to the starter. And then once that kind of crapped out, it didn't do anything. You couldn't get it to jump, you couldn't get it to do anything. Well, the new battery's installed and the new solenoid. The solenoid, again, I don't know if it's for this particular tractor, but it says, you know, fits lawn and garden tractors, and then it has part numbers, OEM numbers. But I can't imagine, you know, the connections are all the same. It's got the 2 spade terminals. I can't imagine that it's different to where it wouldn't work. So I guess at this point, we'll try it. First things first, I guess, see if the headlight turns on, which it does. And we still have nothing. So that tells me that that other solenoid's probably fine. And we have a different issue, whether that be a ground issue, something. I pushed it into the shop here, took the hood off. There's gotta be something wrong wiring wise, or this switching relay box here. I don't really know what that does. I have to look into that. But that kind of tells me obviously that the start solenoid before was okay. And I never really did test to see if it was obviously getting power. I know it's not, obviously, because it would be starting. So I'll have to kind of see if I can find a wiring diagram in this somehow. And I may have to pull the whole console apart so I can get at the wires better, make sure it's not a grounding issue, but it starts when you jump from the starter right to the battery. So it's something, you know, back. So we have replaced the battery, the ignition switch, the start solenoid, and now this relay here. Still will not start. So basically I'm kind of left with, you know, everything's getting narrowed down, but basically I'm left with wiring, though I'm almost betting it is a wire from the ignition switch that's not sending signal. I need to get a tester so I can test between these terminals and see if it is getting power, but I'm almost certain it's not. Old school tester. So we got our other end or ground end hooked to the negative side of the battery. So that's to the battery, to the solenoid, and I'm sure the only downfall to this is you just know that it's lighting up, but it's 12 volt obviously, but that doesn't tell you, it's 6 to 12 volt, but that does not tell you what your voltage is. Yeah, we have it to the solenoid, but not to the, from the switch down here. Obviously not to the starter because we already know that. Okay, I have traced from the ignition switch. I have power there, found the wire that comes down to, actually it comes down and goes back up to the PTO switch or for your mower, and then it comes back down from there and goes all the way over to the clutch pedal, which is what you have to push in to start it. So I have power coming all the way down to here. Now I'm in the process of testing coming out once that switch is engaged. Maybe that switch is bad. I have come to the conclusion the clutch switch, and it doesn't even feel good in here at all. Feels terrible. But I'm pretty sure that that is bad. So this is my power wire coming in, and this is the wire that goes back up to the start solenoid. So basically I gotta do a ton of things here at once. But if I hold the key, obviously doesn't do anything. But if I take this wire and jumper it to the other wire, if I can, it should start. Yuppers! So this switch is junk. Now one of these wires, these yellow wires, one of these goes down into the, I believe for the clutch to actuate the mower. So I don't know how, if these wires can stay where they are, because technically if I get rid of them off of this switch, they won't have, I don't know. I'll have to see if it'll start the mower or not. But right now, and I can test that pretty easy. So there it engaged the PTO. Shut that back off. If I take this power wire out, it still does. So it might just be a continuity thing with these. I don't know, but I don't know that I really need that. This is the biggest thing. So basically, I'm just gonna eliminate that switch for the, to have to push the pedal in to start it. And yeah, so you have to push this down to start it. I'm gonna eliminate that so you don't have to worry about it. And that should solve the issue. Now obviously, this thing has a ton of new parts on it. it needed the new battery, it needed the new ignition, because the old ignition here, I lost the key, number one, but this is actually really bad. You could actually start with a screwdriver. So it needed a new ignition, new key, and a battery. The start solenoid was probably fine on the other one. The relay here, probably fine, but I can hold on to the old parts, and it's gonna have new parts anyway, so it's fine. It is what it is. I'm gonna try and figure out something for that, zip tie some of the wires together and just make sure everything works. And at that point, hallelujah, I think we're gonna be able to go mow. So I bugged the two together and I just pulled the other wires off. I think what those are, because the mower will still engage. It still engages the clutch down there when you pull it. So I'm guessing what that is so you can't start it with the mower engaged. I think it's a safety. Oh, it still doesn't do it, so that still works. Let's see what happens here. I think I have everything out of the way. And that's how bulbs get blown. So everything is pretty much back how it should be. Let's see what happens. Get our tester off. This tester actually worked really well to be able to, you know, I didn't know what the voltage was, but I knew it was lighting up. I think we are golden. Well, that's great. We mowed this one pass. Now this was already previously mowed, very recent. So I'm gonna just go over everything again. Everything over here, same thing, was mowed up until about that line there. You can kind of see where the really high stuff has started. So now I don't have to borrow somebody's mower, and I don't have to use that hand throttle mower that I just do not like. Oh, I'm so thankful. I should have tested the wires beforehand, and I know better. I should have done that, but you know, putting them newer parts on there, the solenoid, all that stuff, it's really not a bad idea. It's not a big deal. So it is what it is. Anyway, we got it fixed, and now I'm gonna go mow. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like it. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.